Guys, Mike Ronaldo here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about dating Asian girls. And don't get me so wrong, this is not like I'm discouraging dating Asian girls idea, but I think this is something that I just want to create some awareness about this topic because I see this a lot on the internet, and even in most times when I make videos about when I make public videos where I talk to some Chinese girls, I do some interaction with some Asian girls, of course, Chinese girls as an example. And it actually gets a lot of you somehow so excited about it because, well, you are just outside the picture and there's lots of things you don't actually see, you don't actually know. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So make sure to stick to the end and like, share, and subscribe. Let's talk about this.
近日，又一对跨国恋，非洲小伙与中国美女喜结良缘。
老公，我要问你份4包小孩子，你养得起吗？你家那个毛草房一把火就烧没了呀！
我有很多钱，我会保护你。
什么？你们好啊！
让我们祝福这对新人吧。
就是我吧，我也没有别的意思，我就是好奇，这个姑娘她咋就喜欢这种高高瘦瘦的这个黑人小哥了？这有啥好啊？这咱中国男孩好多都找不到女朋友呢，你这自己家的你都不那啥，你去找黑人小哥干啥呀？
So when you just watch that video, you see that this is something that actually roams a lot on the internet here. And even in most times I have watched lots of videos of me, my Chinese girl here on the internet, and people just calling your names, people just insulting you, like, hey, the black man, you dating Chinese girl. No, there is a lot of that on the internet because it's like when you watch we do videos in public, like people cannot actually show up, and just express that feeling in their minds. But when they sit back on their computers and they sit behind their phones, and there is so much of that hate. So in most times, well, like you want to be cautious about it because like most people won't really like you, just the fact that you're dating Asian girls. And maybe that is something to do with the Asian culture. Like the people, they are more centered around their thoughts. Like they don't even see why is it even possible for an Asian girl, why is it even possible for the girls to date foreigners. And when I mean foreigners, it doesn't really matter if it's black or a white foreigner, but maybe the degree of likeness or hate is going to be a matter of percentage, but it's still the same thing. So if you're not too comfortable about that, like featuring on the internet and people calling you names, insults, man, this is something you really want to think about because, like, for me personally, I don't really mind because, well, I think that the internet is the internet. Like people have the right to express their own minds, their own hate, and it doesn't really have a lot to do with me. But this is something that you should actually know. It's not, don't think that because when we make videos in public and the people are so happy to see you, so that means everybody likes you, man. It's not that way. So this is something you guys never know. And if you have realized in most of my videos, or even all my videos, when I'm walking out with my Chinese girl, like at most we might be holding hands, but we never do some public shows, like hugging, like kissing, like doing those kind of things. This is just because, like, here in China, particularly, even for the Chinese, they don't even do that. It's almost regarded as being gross, like going into all of that mechanical attachment with a lady in public. And even if it's your wife, you can do such things probably at home, but you can never do that in public because the next minute you're going to be everywhere on the internet, and this is something that you don't actually want. So if you plan on dating Asian girls, or if you're dating Asian girls, this is something that you have to put in mind. And one more thing is that Asian girls, they care a lot about their culture a lot. If you are just so centered about yourself, or maybe it's gonna be even more difficult for you to understand yourself, because for Asian girls, like for Chinese girls, they care about how you treat their family members, like the
你出
respect
来了吗？
you give to her,
哦，
the
买了
respect you
米，
give
这
to
是
her
米吗？
family members. You have to
哦，
know the way of greeting her family members, like you have to know the names, like the uncles, the aunts, like, and sometimes it's a bit difficult, but you have to get along with it. So marriages actually is something somehow difficult to deal with.
是吗？
And
好，下次
but
下次有机会
Asian girls, they are
好
actually
微信联系。
All
All right，拜拜。好，你们玩开心哈。好好，我去赶时间。
like to speak some very direct languages and slangs. They're just so cute, and I can say that they are so loving. But deeper inside, man, there is still more into the culture that you need to really adapt to be able to get along with an Asian girl. I got this comment from one of my viewers after I posted that video. I made a video about not like dating Chinese women, like stay away from Chinese women if you don't know this dash dash dash. And the guy posted, and I'm gonna read that. Doing it was the biggest mistake of my life. I married one for 20 miserable years. Man, take a look at that. He says 20 miserable years. Like, who's gonna go through all of that? Like 20 miserable years. I took care of her own children, and she had the nerve to refuse my son to live in our large house. So, which means that the lady, before they got married, the lady had 2 children, and the man had 1 child, and he was taking care of those 2 children, but the lady refused his son to live in their house. Man, this is so terrible. This is something that, like, who's gonna think about that? She went from East Malaysia. I developed cancer, and she went traveling around the world. Who does that? I divorced, whereafter her daughter was grown by then, and extremely abusive over the phone. I ended up back in the hospital. The nurse wanted me to report her to the police, but I didn't because I loved her. I spoke with the daughter last week, and she was abusive again, telling me not to listen to my doctors. Especially, she's not bright, she's abusive, the culture is self-centered. If you're not, he says that, if you're not Chinese, you're an outsider. Please stay away. So you can read from his comment, and just reading from his comment, I think that you can have more light, you can have more into what we're talking in this topic. So for some of you who plan to like leave wherever you are and travel to Asia just to find some Asian girls, you shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. I think that dating, it doesn't matter who you date. If you want to date your country's girls, if you want to date Asian girls, if you want to date girls from other cultures, it's all okay. But you have to live inside the culture. You have to understand that cultural difference. You should understand that cultural difference. The time when I started dating Nice, my daughter's mom, the time when we started dating, one thing that made me actually think that she's gonna be the woman for me. We had a first date, and I made some video about that. We went on the first date in a food street, and we went on a second date in some public places. And at the time, I just told her that well, I'm from Cameroon, and I should tell you I'm from a poor family background, and I'm struggling here, like making money here and there to support my family back home. So I am not so much given into relationship issues, like going in for marriage. But you know what? She supported me, right from that particular time. And that's the moment that I knew that she's just different. That's the moment I knew she's so different, because she didn't care. She didn't care about, do I have an apartment? Do I have a car? She didn't care, like, do I come from the United States, the country of the good passport, or things like that. She never cared about that. She just told me, you can do whatever thing you want to do. I'm going to support you. You can take care of your family. I'm going to support you. So that is the difference I'm talking about. But most Asian girls, you can't do that. You can't do that. Most Asian girls, I would say that it's even easy dating Asian girls than marrying Asian girls, because when it comes to marriage, they become more reserved, and the culture steps in, and lots of other things steps in, and the family has so much influence over your relationship, over your marriage. So it becomes more difficult, because the culture differs a lot from cultures in other countries, be it from Africa, be it from Europe, or other parts of the world. So that culture is just so different. If you meet an Asian girl, if you meet a Chinese girl that you love, man, I'm gonna tell you, go for it. But you should know, you should understand the things you got to understand before you take it to the next level, before you take it to the next step. Because, man, you're gonna be surprised. Things not gonna work for you that way. You see, there are lots of black guys dating Chinese girls, but there is just a handful of black guys who marry Chinese girls. You see that difference? It means something. It means a lot. It means a lot. So thank you for watching this video. If this is your first time watching Black in China vlogs, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to keep posting more of these kind of videos into the community. And if this is your first time in my channel, make sure to subscribe to my Black in China videos. I'll see you in my next video.